Hello again everyone, it's Mel at Stocksbridge Guitar Tech. Welcome back to the channel. Sorry I haven't been around for the past few weeks or so, but I've been busy doing other stuff and looking after my wife, who, if you watch this channel regularly, you know she's almost disabled, so I do have quite a lot to do for Linda. So things are getting a bit tougher at the minute, so I may not always be able to make a video every week. It may be every 2 or 3 weeks, but I'll do my best for you. But anyway, I've got one for you this week, and I've been shopping on eBay. I wanted something to replace my large pedal board, but I wanted something simple. I've got the Hot Tone Ampero, which I love, but I've tried using this with an amp without any luck, unfortunately. It sounds fantastic straight into a mixing desk. It sounds fantastic into an audio interface for recording on the computer, but if you just plug it into the front of an amplifier, I've not been able to make it work for me, just not getting very good sounds. So I wanted something, some kind of multi-effects, so that I didn't have to take a big pedal board out if I do any more gigs next year, which there is talk of doing. I don't know if it'll happen. I didn't want something with all the preamps and capsins, and I wanted something pretty simple. And what I found on eBay when I was looking was the good old Boss ME-50. So the question is, are these things still any good today? As you can see, this one's in particularly good condition. It's been very well looked after by the previous owner. There's just a very few light scratches on it, that's all. It's in really good working condition. Everything works perfectly on it. But was it worth buying? So I think I paid about £90 for this. And well, I'll let you have a listen at it. We'll listen at some sounds and then I'll draw some conclusions at the end. But if you do like these videos, please remember to subscribe. If you do subscribe, as well as hitting that subscribe button, hit that little bell notification as well, and that way you will get notified when I do upload a new video. But let's have a quick listen at some sounds here. Just for reference, I'm using my Blackstar TVP amp. I've just got it set to a clean sound with no effects on the amp, just a dry clean sound, and I'm using my Fender Blacktop Telecaster on the neck pickup mostly, but I will switch to the bridge when we go and have a look at the distortions. Let's go to a close-up. Let's have a listen at this thing. As you can see at the minute, I've just got all the controls down at 0. So for the overdrive, modulation, distortion, everything's at 0. Here's my clean sound through the amp. I've got no effects on the amp. So if I turn distortion on, as you can see, we get silence because everything's down. So let's see how easy it is to get a sound out of this thing. So we'll do modulation first. I'll just select something at random. I'll just put everything on 12 o'clock. See how that sounds. Quite nice. Let's turn the depth right up. Turn it back turn the rate up. Everything back in the middle. Let's try phaser. Flanger. We've got a harmonist here, so with this one, I'll put the tuner on there accidentally. By hitting both at once we get the tuner. So this is acting at the minute like a D tune, so it's like another chorus effect. But we can pick our key here, so let's say we're in the key of D, and then we choose a harmony with this middle one. If it's at 0 as it is now, we get a D tune. If we move that, we get obviously different harmonies. Depending on where we set it, we can make the harmony louder or quieter. With the level. And we can go up to a full octave. Bring that level back up. Or we can go down a full octave. Put that back to 0. Very good. We've got a tremolo effect. Pan, which will have no effect because I'm running in mono. Vibrato, which is a more subtle kind of tremolo effect. Univibe. Very usable. Rotary effect. So some nice modulation effects we can get a bit crazy with. I'll just put it back to our simple chorus effect. We'll have a listen at some delays. So again, I'll start with everything at 12, time, feedback and level. That's a really quick 0 to 30 milliseconds, which is why we're not hearing a lot. I'll turn the level up. So that's really subtle. If we go up to the next one, 25 to 125 milliseconds. Nice type of slap back. And then we've got 100 to 500. $400 to 2000. We've got an analog type effect. Slow echo, which is like a volume swell. Pan effect, which will have no effect because I'm not in stereo. Space pan. Which I believe that's also a stereo effect, so we're only getting half the effect there. We've got a reverse delay. We've got a hold effect where we can just play something up to 2 seconds. We can overdub over that. So have some fun with that, and we've got a tap tempo. Very useful if you're playing live. I'll just put it back to 100 to 500. Put everything back more or less in the middle. Okay, and then we've got up on the top here, we've got tone modify. So this is like a preset EQ section. So we've got fat, presence, mild, tight, enhance, single coil to humbucker, humbucker to single coil, humbucker to half something, hollow, and an acoustic sim. So let's have a listen at the acoustic. So I can use this switch here to turn the tone modify on and off, and also the compressor up here. I can turn that on and off with this. At the minute it's off, so right now it's on. Don't know if you can see that light, but there's a red light there, and now it's off, now it's on. So useful to have a double button switch which you can plug into the back of the unit. So this is the acoustic sim. That's without. That's just straight through the amp. Now with the sim on. Off. And on again. We put the compressor on. This is without. Turn the level up on the compressor. That's no compressor. And then with compressor on. And we can get it to really squish things up. It's quite a good little compressor actually. I don't know if I'd use that live, but there you go. And then we've got reverb here. So we've got 4 different types: room, hall, spring and modulated. So this is the room. As you can hear, that's pretty subtle. That's as high as that goes. There's no way of turning the reverb on and off via a foot switch. You have to do it manually. We've got hall reverb. Spring reverb. And then modulated reverb. It's kind of like a longer hall reverb, but you also get a chorus effect. Handy if you want to combine that with a different type of modulation effect, say tremolo. Or phaser. Just turn the reverb off. And then we've got the overdrive distortion section, probably the main part of this unit. So we have a total of 22 different overdrive distortion effects available at the minute. Everything's down at 0, so I'm on overdrive 1 at the minute. I'm not going to go through them all because each one requires EQing because they all sound different. So this is overdrive 1. I'm still on the neck pickup here on the guitar. I'll go to the bridge. That's with the drive at noon. Let's turn it up full. So it's best to just pick one and stick with it. Pick one you like. I actually like this Governor, modelled after a Marshall Governor. The top end can be a bit fierce. So I really like that one. For each one of the 11 you have a variation, so this Governor would go to high gain if I press the variation button. That's the Governor, this is the high gain. Now you can hear that's a lot bassier. So as I said, with the distortions you have to EQ each one separately, but that could be handy in a live situation if you're using a guitar with humbuckers and then another guitar with single coils. You may be able to set these up in such a way that you get the sound that you're looking for with your humbuckers. And then without altering them too much, you might just be able to turn this dial to get something that's going to sound decent with a Strat. So it's just a case of experimenting with it. There's a lot of people said that, you know, a lot of these distortions on this unit aren't very good. I don't think that's the case personally. I think some of them are really very good, but you have to spend some time with them. Quite like this lead one as well. So at the minute it's on Blues Driver. Let's have a listen at that. That's a really nice crunch sound there. If we press the variation, we're on the lead. So I like the distortions on this thing, think they sound great. And then we've got the expression pedal, which works as a volume and also but we can also change that from wah to resonance. Or voice. Ring modulator. Or we can use it as a 1 octave up. Or 1 octave down. I would just leave that on wah personally, but there's another 5 options there for you, and you can get some really way out wacky sounds with this thing by really pushing the levels. As you can hear, it can get really crazy. There you go, that's the Boss ME-50. We've also got a tuner on here. If you press both pedals at once, we can tune the guitar. And we've also got 30 memories where we can store patches. So we press pedals 2 and 3 and it takes us into patch mode. And again, I can use then this double button switch now acts as bank up and bank down. So I'm on bank 1 at the minute. If I press this, I go up to bank 2. The thing I like is it doesn't change the sound until I press one of the other pedals. Now it's gone to bank 2 and this preset. Bank 3. Great little box, absolutely stunning range of sounds. Old technology, but is it still usable today? Absolutely. There you go, that's some of the sounds you can get out of this unit. So let's just talk about some pros and cons. Personally, I think it sounds fantastic considering how old it is. Very, very easy for live gigging. That's the first pro. You just plug in straight into the front of the amp and then another lead out to your guitar and you're ready, you're set up and ready to go. The footprint, the size of it is very small, very compact. Everything's well laid out, very easy to access. That's another plus. We've got the individual switches when we're in manual mode to turn the effects on and off. And we can also turn the tone modifying compressor on and off with an external foot switch as well. Great expression pedal on it, assignable to 6 different voicings if you like. Decent reverb, the reverb's not bad on it. And the other thing I like about this is the fact that it does have 30 preset memories, so you can use it in patch mode as well, and you can go between patch mode and manual mode quite easily. You just press these 2 switches together. So fantastic. Also the number of effects and the quality of the effects is pretty outstanding for a unit this old. So let's talk about, are there any things I don't like about it? I would say the main bugbear for me is the fact that you can't plug it into a computer and save your own patches and build up a library of sounds. It's a bit of a pain. Once you've used up your 30 memories, if you get any more killer patches that you come up with, you've either got to delete something from one of the memories, or you've got to write everything down. You've got to write where every knob is and what distortion type you use, etc., which can be a right pain. Another thing I didn't mention is this thing also runs on batteries, 6 AA batteries. So if your power supply died mid-gig, and as long as you've got some batteries with you, this thing will run for about 10 hours on batteries if they're good quality alkaline ones. So yeah, negatives, no MIDI, no USB or anything like that, so you can't link it up to a PC. I would have liked to have seen a dedicated EQ on there rather than just the tone modify, which is like a preset EQ section. I would have liked to have seen a global EQ on there. That's not really a deal breaker because you've got EQ on the amp anyway, and you can always use an EQ pedal. I would have also liked to have seen a second delay, so you could have 2 delays. Sometimes I like to use 2 delays. Again, not a big deal really, just use a stomp delay pedal like the Flashback 2 or something, put that through the effects loop of the amp, problem sorted. The other thing I would have liked to have seen is a boost or solo function where you can set a different level for when you're soloing. You just hit that boost and you go to solo and then come back out, back into your rhythm. Again, not really a problem for me because I'll be using a 2-channel Marshall amp, so I will just use channel 2 for my solos. I'll just go to channel 2 on the amp, so not a big deal again, but just something I would have liked to have seen. Also, there is, in preset mode, there is a bit of lag, a bit of switch lag when you go from one preset to the other. It's not that bad, but it is noticeable. If you're going straight from a rhythm into a solo, you might have to drop out of that rhythm a little bit early, because if you just hit it as soon as your solo comes in, you're probably gonna miss a couple of notes at the front of your solo. So not ideal, but it can be worked around. And if you're smart at programming this thing, I would say, if I'm using this live, I would say 75 to 80% of the time I'm just going to be in manual mode anyway with it, and just using these switches to turn the individual effects on and off, and there's no lag when you're doing that. It's only when you go into bank and preset mode that these sort of have a little bit of delay on them. So obviously that depends on the song. Sometimes you get a bit of a gap before the solo comes in. In that case it's fine, you haven't got a problem. But if you do have a song where the solo needs to come in straight away, you might want to think about maybe using a boost pedal or a second overdrive distortion pedal rather than using this unit itself. But it can be worked around. Like I said, it's not a big deal. For 20-year-old plus technology, I still think this is an amazing piece of kit. And I have a friend who has the new ME-50. Obviously that's got more bells and whistles on it, and it doesn't suffer with that switch lag, that delay, as badly as this anyway. But I don't think it sounds as good personally, and neither does he. He thinks this sounds better, and I think this sounds better. You also get more distortions on here. I believe you only get 11 on the ME-50. You get 22 on here, but you do get the preamp as well on the ME-50. But like I said, I didn't want that. I didn't want anything with a preamp on, because I'm going to be using my Marshall amp. That's my preamp. I don't need a unit with preamps and cabs on like the Ampero. So yeah, really pleased with this for £90. Built like a tank as well. I mean, like I said, 20 years old, still going strong. This will probably outlive me. So anyway, that's the video for this week. I will try and get one done for you next week. No promises, could be the week after, maybe even the week after that. We'll have to see how we go. But thanks for watching this one. Look after yourselves and bye for now.